it's Lucia Damiata, Lucy Betmore, and today I'm here in the east of England at English Electric Motor Company to test zero motorcycles. We don't have much time, so let's go.
No clutch. Once your bike's on, just wait for it to load up. So this is your on button. On button is basically make your bike. So click that down, you see a little green light here there. Then the bike is actually now live. We're all good. So once you're in live mode, you can change the modes. Go through
Rain, street,
sport.
what's the range on sport?
You'll get anywhere between 70 and 100 miles real world riding in sport. This one will charge in just under an hour, nearly empty. So that's heat grips off, high.
So we have ET groups as well. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
It's easy to explain and there's not a lot to explain.
Okay, so we're ready. Let's go. After 5 years of working in the motorcycle industry, this is my first test of an electric motorcycle. I was quite skeptical about testing an electric motorcycle, as from my experience back home in Italy, the electric charging infrastructure is not developed enough for the real-world usage. Coming to England made me realize that it's possible to own an electric motorcycle and plan trips, because the charging infrastructure here is far more developed. Houses have received grants for electric charging points, and new build houses come with them as standard, and it's becoming increasingly common to see cars parked on the driveways charging. So I thought to myself, why not give electric motorcycles a try? And here we are, riding the Zero SRF Premium on these nice English countryside roads, thanks to English Electric Motor Company. Starting from the outside, the bike looks beautiful and very nicely built. Style, color and finish make it look very aggressive, but in a tasteful way. There is a bit too much plastic in my opinion, but that's understandable for keeping the weight down. As soon as you jump on one of these bikes, you'll immediately realize something is missing. Yep, you probably guessed it, it's the clutch. I won't lie to you, for the first 5 minutes I kept looking for it every time I was coming to a stop. For me personally, I would probably prefer the rear brake to be there instead, a bit like on a scooter. That aside, I wasn't too bothered, as the instant power from the motor is more than enough to keep your mind occupied. 190 Nm of instant torque to be precise. Of course, there are more differences that remind you that you're not riding a traditional engine-driven motorcycle. A faint sound from the electric motors whilst accelerating, no exhaust sound as it doesn't have one, and no gearbox to deal with. On Zero motorcycle, we will generally find a nice white compartment for our goods and a couple of USB chargers on the behalf of the petrol tank. But in this version of the SRF Premium, that space is occupied by a fast charger that lets us charging the bike in less than an hour. This means that you can put the Type 2 electric connector in there and charge the bike up faster. The bike has a steel trellis frame and it comes with Showa suspension. Front forks are upside down and both front and rear suspensions are preload, compression and rebound adjustable. They are quite absorbing, firm and precise. I like them. Front brake is a SPF with 320mm discs, and the rear brake is a single piston floating caliper with 240mm disc. They do their job well, but for me I would like to see a little bit more response when braking hard. It would give me a bit more reassurance. I also like the Pirelli Diablo Rosso 3 tires, which immediately made me confident, giving the bike a good grip on the road on this sunny summer day. The most important thing is of course the price. For bagging this Zero SRF Premium, we'll have to spend £20,990. If we want the normal version, which has a 3 kW instead of 6 kW integrated charger type, we will have to spend £18,990. However, in this case, the bike will charge at 100% in 4.5 hours instead of 2.5 of the premium version. Time for charging motorcycle equipped with Zero's additional 6 kW rapid charge option when supplied with full rated input power at 220-240 volts is 1.8 hours at 100% and 1.3 hours at 95% for the normal version, and 1.5 hours at 100% and 1 hour and 95% for the premium version. That makes charging time a lot more manageable, so it's something I'd personally consider. We also have different modes to manage the power in the best possible way. Sport mode gives the maximum performance for this engine. Street mellows out just a little bit. Eco that limits the top speed to 74 miles per hour. It also has maximum regenerative braking effect. So when you let off the throttle, the motorcycle deaccelerates very vigorously and the energy goes back into the battery. This lets us manage the range better, which is declared as 100 miles of range on the motorway at 55 miles per hour. This will drop to 82 miles on the motorway at 70 miles per hour. From my point of view, I had a very quick test ride, but I didn't notice any power drop during the test ride, and I made the most of my riding experience enjoying the nature and the silence of the countryside. Of course, riding an electric motorcycle is not just respectful for the environment, but also for nature and animals. It was a very new experience for me and I wasn't disappointed at all. On the other hand, I noticed that in a very quiet environment, pedestrians and cyclists can hear you coming, but cars may not. So for those of you that ride in build-up areas, I would advise more caution, as cars will not hear you coming. A nice tech feature is that you can pair the bike with your mobile phone via Zero app. This allows you to customize some of the settings and to choose the best option for you. The bike is not too tall. The seat height is 787mm in the standard version, but you can buy a low seat which will drop the seat height to 770mm, or the tall seat which will increase the seat height to 810mm. By the way, I'm 5'6" and I can touch the ground perfectly with both of my feet. The curb weight of the bike is 226 kilograms for the premium version, 6 kilograms more than the standard version, but I didn't find it super heavy. It's an electric bike and battery weighs a bit. But the positive news is that it's a quite well balanced bike and it's easy to ride. The riding position and ergonomics are okay for me. I easily reach the bar, displays and indicators, so I feel comfortable on board. I'd probably like a more padded seat on the front. Display is nice and it shows all the information we need. I'm very curious to know more about this electric segment and the reasons that might push someone to embrace this new electric motorcycle industry. The best man to ask is surely Alex Sharp, the founder of the English Electric Motor Company, the first and most important full electric dealer in the UK. Hi Alec, thank you so much for having us here.
That's right.
And I have a couple of questions for you. What inspired you to create this business?
Actually, before this was custom motorcycles, and then about 4 or 5 or 6 years into, we decided that we wanted to diversify into something a little different. I had the opportunity to try an electric motorcycle about 4 years ago, having no interest in electric motorcycles, and as soon as I had a go on it, it just blew me away. The experience was so unique compared to anything else that I tried, and it got me thinking why there weren't more people riding electric, and there's various reasons as to why. One of the biggest reasons is that there wasn't enough businesses selling the bikes, and so I thought maybe that's something that we could do, and that's what we did. That's it.
Yeah, that's very good. That's a bit different from normal business, normal motorcycle, and this is brave. I think very brave.
I think it's something, when an opportunity comes up and an opportunity that you're really interested in as well. So it's not just you go, we can make a load of money out of this. That wasn't really it. It was, this is awesome. I really like motorcycles. It doesn't irrelevant to me whether it's a Harley, whether it's a Yamaha or a Kawasaki or whatever. The electric just made me appreciate this could be something that other people would be interested in, and I might be able to make a business out of it. And yeah, it was. I'm very lucky to be able to have an opportunity like this as well. So
convinced me to buy an electric motorcycle instead of a.
It's easy. Look at it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Just look at it. Yeah, it's less. So when we're approaching new customers, let's just say you've come to me with no interest in electric whatsoever. You don't know anything about it. You're not interested in it. The first thing would be get on it and ride it. That would be the first thing. I can go on about range, how fast it is. I can go on about all of these things, but it's the ride that sells it. Once you have a ride, I don't need to do a lot of selling. It's the before. You find out today. Have you ridden electric before at all?
Never.
Never
been an electric bike
So
before.
this will be a really unique experience to what all the other bikes you've ridden before, because of the level of acceleration, no clutch, no gears, the lack of noise or different noise. All of those things make it a really special riding experience, and one which I don't think we've ever had someone be disappointed by. So to answer your question in terms of sell it to me, usually once you've had a go, I can go about the range and charge time and all that lot. But I planted the seed for you to go away and go, you know what, I could have one of those. It might not be ready for it right now, and it might not be a replacement for what you currently ride, but it's something that you're thinking about, and then you'll be, I reckon I could have one of those. So yeah, but when you think of electric, I don't really think there's a stereotype there yet.
Yeah, I was actually noticing that this one is actually the same weight of my MT-07.
Ah, okay.
It's a Yamaha, so
Yeah.
it's actually manageable
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah, and the weight's really low down as well. So
Yeah.
it means it's you lose the weight very quickly, and the seat, because we find with a lot of female riders they have shorter legs.
Yes.
It means that a lot of our bigger bikes they're tiptoeing. I hate riding like that. But these have a very narrow waist and very low seat, so most people can ride them no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, so we just need to try them.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much for that,
Right.
and we're going for this.
Gonna go
this
for a
test
ride? Got the weather for it?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
No worries.
So yes, as Alex suggested, a test ride is probably the best way to understand the electric choice. Going around the countryside, being quiet, hearing the silence and enjoying the nature without disturbing it is something I've never experienced before on a motorcycle. It's not a conventional experience, it's not meant to replace a combustion bike experience, but it's something different and I honestly enjoy it. I think I now fancy an electric bike in my garage. It probably won't replace my combustion bike, which will surely allow me to make longer road trips without any extra planning inconvenience, but just to enjoy a different riding experience and some positive aspects of it, such as cheaper way of riding around, lot less maintenance, less money to run the bike, less hassles for the future pollution rules. Plus, even if I just reduce my usage of a combustion bike of 30% because I decided to use the electric bike just for going to work every now and then, I will pollute 30% less than I would normally using my combustion bike every day, which is a goal for the planet. I understand that the price might seem a bit high, but electric is a new technology and it's not cheap. I noticed that although people love electric and love the instant power, there are those that are concerned about the range and usability of the bike. It will come, it's just the start, and I'm sure that the more it becomes popular, the better technology will develop. I'm not disappointed about it. I just need to get used to it by planning my stops in a most appropriate way and not forgetting to plug the bike in sometime before the ride. I'm so passionate about bikes and they are my life. But sometimes I must remember that I'm not the only one on this planet and that this is our home. We should be more respectful towards it.
What are your first impressions?
So this bike is extremely light, easy to ride and powerful. Plus electric is the future. So here we are. See you in the next video.